Hello and welcome to the Minimum Competence episode for Monday, January 27th, 2025. I'm your host for today, Andrew Leahy, a tax and technology attorney from New Jersey. On today's episode, Elon Musk's $1 million giveaway lawsuit, Indian media's copyright battle with OpenAI, new PFAS bans in cosmetics, and Cadwallader's record revenue. Let's remember, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life because no one will hire you to take naps. And read today's legal news. On this day in legal history, January 27th, 1973, the Paris Peace Accords were signed, formally ending direct U.S. military involvement in the Vietnam War. The agreement, brokered after years of intense negotiations, was signed by representatives from the United States, North Vietnam, South Vietnam, and the Provisional Revolutionary Government of South Vietnam. The key provisions included a ceasefire, the withdrawal of U.S. troops, the release of prisoners of war, and a commitment to peaceful reunification efforts. Dr. Henry Kissinger, serving as the U.S. National Security Advisor, played a pivotal role in negotiating the agreement, earning him the 1973 Nobel Peace Prize, despite him being one of the most monstrous men in modern history. The Accords marked a significant moment in Cold War diplomacy as they sought to halt one of the most controversial conflicts in U.S. history. Despite the agreement, tensions remained high and fighting between North and South Vietnam continued. Ultimately, the Accords failed to establish lasting peace as North Vietnamese forces launched a successful campaign to reunify Vietnam under communist control in 1975. The Accords also addressed humanitarian concerns, including provisions for the return of U.S. prisoners of war, such as those held at the infamous Hanoi Hilton. The agreements emphasized self-determination for the South Vietnamese people, though political realities on the ground made this very challenging. The signing of the Paris Peace Accords underscored the limits of U.S. influence in Vietnam and symbolized the broader shift in American foreign policy as the nation grappled with the aftermath of its longest war to date. Elon Musk has asked a federal judge in Texas to dismiss a class action lawsuit accusing him and his political action committee, America PAC, of running an illegal lottery. The lawsuit, filed by Arizona resident Jacqueline McCafferty, alleges that Musk misled voters in 7 battleground states into signing a petition supporting the U.S. Constitution by offering a chance to win $1 million. McCafferty argues that this violated Texas deceptive trade practices laws, as winners were supposedly chosen at random. Musk, however, contends that participants were informed that they would be evaluated for opportunities to become America PAC spokespeople, not awarded a random prize. He emphasized that this process did not involve chance and thus was not a lottery. Musk also rejected claims that collecting petition signers' personal information caused harm, noting there was no evidence of misuse. The lawsuit, filed on Election Day in 2024, seeks at least $5 million in damages for petition signers. It follows a related legal effort in Philadelphia, where a judge declined to halt Musk's giveaway, ruling it was not an illegal lottery. Musk is a Texas resident, and Tesla, his electric car company, is headquartered in Austin. Indian digital news outlets, including those owned by billionaires Gautam Adani and Mukesh Ambani, have joined a copyright lawsuit against OpenAI, alleging unauthorized use of their content to train its AI models. News organizations such as NDTV, Network 18, Indian Express, and the Hindustan Times argue that OpenAI's willful scraping of their material threatens their copyrights and undermines their advertising revenue. This legal filing builds on a prior lawsuit initiated by ANI, India's most prominent news agency, marking a significant escalation in the legal battle. The media outlets accuse OpenAI of prioritizing partnerships with international publishers while neglecting similar agreements with Indian companies, resulting in unfair advantages. OpenAI, however, maintains that its use of publicly available data adheres to fair use principles and asserts that Indian courts lack jurisdiction over its US-based servers. This legal challenge occurs as India's generative AI market is poised for rapid growth, and OpenAI views the country as a key market with a large user base. Critics of OpenAI's practices argue its actions undermine press freedom and could weaken democracy in India. Meanwhile, OpenAI continues to defend its business model, citing partnerships with major global publishers and emphasizing its compliance with copyright laws in other regions. A wave of new state laws targeting forever chemicals, or PFAS, in cosmetics took effect this year, reflecting growing concerns over the health and environmental risks of these persistent substances. California, Colorado, and several other states have banned the intentional use of PFAS in products like lipstick and mascara, while broader measures in states such as Minnesota also cover textiles, cookware, and food packaging. PFAS, often used for properties like water resistance or shine, can accumulate in the environment and pose health risks such as cancer, low birth weight, and fertility issues, according to the EPA. Businesses are responding by assessing their supply chains, reformulating products, and removing items from shelves to comply with the patchwork of state laws, which vary in scope. Some companies may adopt nationwide standards based on these bans, while others will adjust their product offerings by jurisdiction. Legal experts warn of additional challenges, including lawsuits over greenwashing if products marketed as sustainable or eco-friendly are found to contain PFAS, even unintentionally. Consumer lawsuits have already targeted items like waterproof mascara, disposable tableware, and smartwatch bans for PFAS content, citing false advertising. Meanwhile, some state laws, like those in Maine, acknowledge that PFAS are unavoidable in certain industries, requiring disclosure instead of outright bans. These measures are expected to spur further regulation of chemicals in cosmetics and beyond, particularly at the state level, as consumer demand for clean beauty and environmentally friendly products continues to grow. Cadwalader, Wickersham, and Taft reported a record $638 million in revenue in 2024, a 15% increase driven by its work with Wall Street banks and private credit markets. The firm's strategy combines advising traditional banking clients and expanding its services to private capital providers as both sectors increasingly collaborate. Notable deals include representing BNP Paribas in a $5 billion financing partnership with Apollo-backed Atlas SP Partners and helping arrange a European middle-market private credit collateralized loan obligation. The firm's 80 equity partners earned an average of $3.7 million each last year, a 33% increase year over year. Managing partner Pat Quinn emphasized that Cadwalader's smaller size, with about 430 lawyers and offices in only 5 cities, fosters close collaboration and a personal touch with clients. Lawyers also benefit from flexible office policies, with partners required to be in 4 days a week and associates encouraged to attend voluntarily on Mondays. Cadwalader's capital markets, fund finance, and real estate practices performed strongly, while its investigations group expanded into broader corporate conduct matters. The London office also posted record revenue, bolstered by leveraged finance and fund finance work. With rising demand and increasingly complex transactions, Quinn anticipates that 2025 could surpass last year's success. Good for Cadwalader. And with that, and as always, I thank you so much for listening to Minimum Competence, your daily news podcast for lawyers. If you're looking for more than Minimum Competence, links to further reading on all the topics touched on today are in the show notes. And reviews go a long way towards helping new listeners to find our show. If you have a moment and can leave a rating or review on your podcast player, we'd sure appreciate it. And if you know someone that might be interested in a story we cover, consider sending them the episode. But remember, nothing here should be construed as legal advice, because it is certainly not that. Minimum Competence is available at minimumcomp.com and wherever it is you get your finely crafted podcasts. If you haven't checked out the website in a while, give it a look. There are complete transcripts and resources for each episode and its corresponding segments, as well as an opportunity to receive new episodes in email, newsletter, form. We'll see you back here tomorrow, and until then, remember, if Plan A doesn't work, there are 25 more letters in the alphabet.